Hey, in this video we're going to check out one of the highlights of my summer, which was my very first trip to New York City. We had a pretty thorough game plan before we came into the city, including where we were going to park. We had parking reservations in a parking garage that was pretty cheap, which we got online, like usual. We only parked once and we planned on taking the subway a couple of times to navigate around Manhattan. After we parked, we got on the subway, which was pretty easy to figure out and overall was a moderately decent experience. When we got off the subway, our first stop was to see the World Trade Center and the 9/11 Memorial. The new World Trade Center building is stunning and really stands out in the city. The 9/11 Memorial is like taking a scar in American history and making it into a beautiful way to remember the most devastating event to happen to the US in years. It provokes you to think about where you were on 9/11 and think about the fact that 15 years ago, this very spot where you stand was rubble, where so many innocent lives were lost. Next, we walked around by the New York Stock Exchange before heading down to Battery Park. Once we got to Battery Park, we started the process of getting in line and going through security to get on the ferry to go to the Statue of Liberty. We got Statue of Liberty tickets a couple days ahead of time online. We had to pick a time and a date for it, and we just got standard reserve tickets. We wanted to get crown tickets, but they were sold out. The ferry ride was worth the money in itself. It was cool to be out on the water and get to see New York from that angle. The ferry stops at Ellis Island, but we actually didn't go to Ellis Island. We just had a lot of other things to do on our agenda still. So then we finally arrived at Liberty Island. We wandered around the island for a while, looking at the statue from all different angles. The statue was pretty cool overall. I mean, we see tons and tons of pictures of this thing everywhere, and it doesn't really do it justice. Though, I must say that the statue was actually a little bit smaller than I always thought that it was. Regardless, Lady Liberty was a pretty cool sight to behold. After taking the ferry back to Battery Park and taking the subway, we went to St. Patrick's Cathedral. This place was really pretty on the inside, with its painted windows and really cool architecture. This building is really awesome to check out regardless of if you are religious or not. I recommend visiting this cathedral to anybody touring the city. Next was the Rockefeller Center and surrounding areas. We did go in it for a few minutes, but all we really did was look around. I really enjoyed seeing the signs of the locations of the iconic TV shows that are shot around here. Hanging out by the Rockefeller Center made it feel like any moment you'd see somebody from Saturday Night Live wandering around. I guess this place wasn't quite as cool as it would have been if we came around the holidays, but it was still worth the stop. We were looking around trying to take in all the sights that we could until we finally got to Times Square. As a first-time visitor, I gotta say that Times Square really is basically what it looks like on TV and in movies. The lights are really cool, there's tons of people everywhere. The kinds of people that you could see there are just completely unlimited. Just walking through, you hear tons of different languages, there are people in costumes. It seems like you never really know what you're gonna get when you go down there. As the sun was setting, the whole city was just beautiful. We were just about finishing up our day and walking back to the car when we could see the Empire State Building. And of course, while in New York City, we did get a pizza. So, in conclusion, my first trip to New York City was a blast. I hope to get back there someday to see some of the places that I didn't get to go to. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to comment and tell me about your trip to New York City.